Hi everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 5. So last time out we pretty much learnt that basically everything's going to shit and an enormous amount of pressure has been put on the Phantom Thieves. So
pretty bad, huh?
In this part we're starting off this part with because what you need when you're under serious pressure, when you could be caught by the police at any moment, what do you need more than anything else? Exams. So of course, we're starting off with exams. So it's the first day of the exams, and pretty much this is just all stuff that is all this information was pretty much given to you during the question and answer segments in the classroom. So you should be able to work out what's going on. And now popularity keeps going down. What the fuck? Anyway, something else which I kind of like that they do as well is that they keep kind of the pressure on even while you're doing the exams, because you always have these cutscenes like at the start of every day where it's like everybody's turning against the Phantom Thieves, and they think that they're murderers, and everybody's kind of going against them. So it's kind of a cool little thing to really push.
Now everyone.
To kind of keep the pressure on, even though you've still got exams to do. Something else I like as well, it is kind of a little bit off-putting, I suppose, is the fact that you've got that somber music playing as people are talking about the Phantom Thieves being pieces of shit, and then it cuts into this really upbeat music that plays while you're doing your exams, and it's a bit jarring. Although, to be honest, I would have done much better in my exams if I had this playing in my head. If I had that catchy, awesome theme playing whenever I did an exam, that would make me want to do exams, man. I could tell you that much. But anyway, so yeah, and of course there are rumors going around all the time now about Phantom Thieves being in and around the school and what's going on with them and that kind of thing. Day number 3.
Ooh, we can do this.
I just love this theme. It's so good. It's so catchy. One of the catchiest themes in the whole series, man. I love it. It's day 3 done. My god. Popularity just keeps going down. We're going to be properly screwed by the end of this. Anyway. I think... yeah, it's the last day. Go through 4 days of exams. And if you answer all the questions correctly, you get that little thing there basically saying, you did perfectly, you're good. I wonder what your score's going to be. So at least you know that whether you've got it right or whether you got majority of them right, whether you got the majority of them wrong, you kind of know there and then. So it's kind of cool. Hi, Futaba. So yeah, she seems to have found something out. So she wants us to meet up at the end of the school day to kind of discuss what the fuck's going on. So yeah, so Haru texts you to basically saying, I'm going to be doing flower arranging first, and then I'll go across. So yeah, and this is pretty much the Haru has a different kind of setup when it comes to getting her social link started, because basically her social link won't get going until after the Culture Festival, which is coming up fairly soon. And so with Haru, you have basically you have this instance here where you basically go up and talk to her and you basically find out that she's having issues that basically, because her dad passed away so suddenly, that means that basically the whole company's left to her, and that she's effectively the majority the majority shareholder in this massive multinational corporation, and she basically kind of doesn't know who to turn to and who to talk to about it, because she thinks that everybody's trying to basically use her, like manipulate her to get basically their hands on Haru's family's money. So it's that kind of thing. So this is kind of like the initiation of the social link, and it doesn't effectively say it, but it basically introduces you to what the problem you're going to be helping her out with is, basically. And it's basically mandatory. They also do a second one of these where you go to talk to her, where you can talk to her during the free time you have in the culture festival. Basically, that is pretty much just up to you. And I don't know whether it boosts your social link rank with her, so I know it doesn't actually boost it, but I don't know whether it makes it happen faster. I just think it's a good way to, because you don't really interact with her a whole lot, so it makes sense to do it. This part also introduces what she will add to the group, which is basically she will grow plants for vegetables for you, and basically the vegetables that she grows can recover HP and SP. And basically, the more you, so the further on in the social link you go, like if you max out a social link, then you get can grow vegetables which can fully replenish SP and fully replenish HP. So it's worth doing. Kind of similar to Sojourner's social link, actually, where he's got coffee and curry, which gives you the curry gives you HP restore, and the coffee gives you SP restore. It's basically just a way of, in case you don't do Sojourner's social link all that much, you've got Haru's as backup to kind of get SP and SP. my face. HP and SP restoring items quickly. So there you go.
The guy who called himself Medjed after me isn't the one from the other day.
What do you mean?
So basically, this is what they basically say. Right, what's happening now? Basically, she says that she's looked up the person who is doing the Medjed stuff, and it wasn't actually the guy who she thought it was. Basically, she thought it was this guy who used to be in her group and basically took her down. Basically, he was a part of it. It turns out that looking into the coding of the website and everything that was done with Medjed, it was done by a third party, somebody else. So that would mean that since the beginning of Futaba's social link, of Futaba's palace, someone has been basically provoking and manipulating the Phantom Thieves into taking on targets since then. Because it's because of what happened with Medjed that got Futaba interested in the Phantom Thieves. It's from there that we we were introduced to her as Alibaba, and pretty much set us on the course to go through her palace. So therefore, it's kind of becoming more and more apparent that some third party has basically been manipulating the Phantom Thieves to take on certain targets since then. It's compounded by the fact that she's also found the same coding traces on the Phantom Thieves website, which basically is kind of more, which kind of suggests that the Phantom Thieves website has been tampered with to get the Phantom Thieves to go in a certain direction, and it kind of points towards the fact that
and the perfect target.
Okumura was
If both of those had been set up,
basically
It would all make sense.
used as a way
so
to get the
culprit
Phantom
was planning to
Thieves
put the blame on us from the start. No way.
to be framed,
This is
basically.
all hypothetical. We lack any
So
hard evidence.
yes, we don't have any hard evidence of that, but
If
it
all your
definitely
deductions
seems to be
happen
a
to be
lot.
correct,
There definitely
that would
seems to
mean
be
we've been playing right into their hand for the past 2 months or so.
not evidence, but there seems to be a lot of arrows pointing towards that we've been manipulated since basically Futaba's palace, which was the fourth palace of the game. So it's basically since the midway point of the fucking game, which is kind of insane.
Over speculation. Regardless, we'll be falsely charged at this rate, and with murder.
Of course, knowing all this, we can't
must
really
overcome this.
do much about it. I
We don't even
mean,
know
we're
who
just
was
basically, it's just basically confirmation that we've been pushed into a certain direction and that we could,
Indeed, we don't.
and we could be for, you know, and as Ryuji says there, we could be fall into another trap, couldn't we, if we keep going down this line of
Even
thought.
if this is the actions of a meticulous
So,
undertaker,
what is the
we
only
just
thing
have
that
to
we
get
can
back to
do
them.
right
We
now?
need to find clues, no matter what.
We can't really do anything. We just gotta live normal school lives and try and look as inconspicuous as possible while at the same time
Me?
investigating and finding
I
clues
was told
as
you
to
recommended this reassignment
who the fuck's
yourselves.
doing this shit.
Why would you choose someone as inexperienced as myself?
When the case of the Shujin principal was ruled a suicide,
So,
you
yes.
sought to reopen it. And
My
you
apologies.
proved its connection to
Anyway.
the Phantom Thieves.
So the SAE director is now putting Sai in charge of the Phantom Thieves investigation,
The Phantom Thieves issue is now a national
because
crisis.
basically
Expectations
this-
are exceedingly
it-
high for us public prosecutors,
basically this is the
as
next
we are the
target after
executors of
Okuma
justice. Personnel and
for
planning
the
will be
people
up
in the
to you on
shadows
this
that
case.
they want
You
to
will also have the
get
police
rid of.
under your command.
They want to deal with Sai at this point because she's
I'd like you to oversee this operation.
investigating and meddling into areas that she shouldn't.
Will you accept the task of
So
eradicating the
yes,
Phantom Thieves?
she's been
I
given
will
the
give it
task to
everything I have.
deal with the Phantom Thieves.
We'll have to prepare a higher position for you
And
as
yeah, it's
well
gonna cause
in the
problems.
event that you succeed. I don't wish to apply extra pressure on you, but I assume
Which is
your
exactly what you're doing,
odds
you
of
piece of
success
garbage.
are high.
So yeah, this pretty much
Failure
starts
to accomplish this
Sai's
task
kind of
is
descent,
unacceptable.
basically.
Do you
She gets
understand?
put into this position to take down the Phantom
I will
Thieves
live up to
and
your
is
expectations no
immediately
matter what it takes.
put under a huge amount of pressure by the
I
SIU
expect
and
good
director
results from you.
and the people behind the scenes to basically push her to a point where she's like, I have to do this. I have to win. I have to win by any means
No, it's
necessary.
okay.
I have to win by any means necessary. And if that means
No
even
need. I just came home to get a change of
even if that
clothes.
means doing stuff which is
Are you going to see it
untoward
work then?
for
I've
an
been
investigator,
entrusted with a very
but
important task.
we'll be but that's
You
later.
look
That's later.
awful, though.
For now, she's been
Aren't you
put in charge
tired?
of the Phantom Thieves
As an adult,
investigation.
There will be times when you will accept an assignment for which failure is not tolerated. It's all over for me if I can't win this.
Still,
Yeah, so
if
here
you
you go.
wanna
It's this is
collapse
kind
from
of
exhaustion,
the first time where she's
This
kind
is
of
my
like,
one chance to get
I'm
a
being
promotion.
pushed. She's desperate for it.
I heard detectives have been coming to your school.
And this is kind of going to push her
must
to a
make it
point
hard
where
to
she's
focus
so
on her
desperate for it
studies.
that she can't
Don't
really
worry,
see the
though.
woods for the
It will
trees,
all be
if you know what
over
I mean.
soon.
what do you mean?
I'm going to catch the Phantom Thieves myself.
Is that the
And
important task
this is
you
where
mentioned?
Makoto finds out what's going on, that
It's not your
it's
concern.
her sister which is going to be taking on the Phantom Thieves.
Oh my
And this is a
God.
real oh shit
Seems
moment.
your mind is set on the Phantom Thieves, and on Shujin Academy in particular.
And she's going to be
This is bad.
doing a lot more around
I need
Shujin
to let
Academy,
everyone
so
know.
yeah. Remember what I said about the pressure piling on? The pressure ratcheting up? Yep, it's just gone up another few notches because of what's happened. So, Sai Nijima is now in charge of the investigation, and it also means that the SIU is directly involved. And the SIU, we get a little bit of a explanation about what they are. You could have really guessed this, but basically an elite team which deals with high-level crimes across Japan. Kind of like, I guess, what you would consider the FBI of the US, I guess. Would be a similar thing. A similar thing. So yeah. So they're going to be searching for a load of shit. So yeah, Morgana's freaking out. So yeah, they're going to be investigating the school now, which puts us again piles on the pressure even more, which is kind of like this whole section is pretty much that. It's like pressure after, pressure after pressure after pressure after pressure, just applied constantly, time and time and time again, where you're not given any where you're not given really any time to think about it. You're just like more and more and more and more of it is just being piled on top of you.
Okay, quiet down.
So the police are at the school. So the school festival is in 4 days. That's on the 25th. So we're going to be getting the school festival earlier. Is this where it... Somebody just left the lunch. Look at that. Jesus, what a waste. Yep, so again, this is more pressure being applied. Basically, all the students are now going to be investigated. They're going to be questioned. So basically, all we've got to... The only thing that we can really do is just wait for our name to be called and just try and bullshit our way through it as well as possible.
Will go together. Huh? Why together? Why? They'll probably have one of you wait outside.
Yeah, Anne would you probably would freak out at that point, because it's like,
Oh, yeah.
you two been asked to go together. Why have the two of the Phantom Thieves been called at the same time? Do the detectives know something? It's like, no. It's just alphabetical. Everybody goes in pairs, so... Just a massive coincidence. This is very typical. You know, you got your good cop and bad cop. Nice detective and overbearing detective.
It says here you had a dispute with Mr. Kamishita?
Yep, that definitely happened.
You look. You spend time with quite an interesting group. Yusuke Kitagawa and Haru Okumura? The more friends, the better, right? I'm sorry to have taken your
I don't know why they've specifically brought up those two.
Oh, I almost forgot. There's just one more thing I have to ask you. Do you think the Phantom Thieves are associated with this school?
Yeah, the detective. This is kind of like, I think, a way of improving increasing the pressure, but also at the same time, it kind of gives you a sense of like it calms you down a bit more, because of the fact that it's clear that they don't really have anything. From the questions they ask, they don't really have anything on the Phantom Thieves at this point, and that's kind of pretty clear from the questions that they're asking. So it's kind of calms you down a little bit to know that they're still nowhere near close to finding anything out. Basically,
they do that on purpose, then wait for someone to slip up.
I hope you didn't.
It was probably
yeah, that's a well-known police tactic. Asking all the same questions to see if everybody, says the same things, and to see who kind of slips up.
The police lightly either. Hey, didn't you think that detective guy was scary?
Seemed normal to me. Well,
He looked like someone who's
I'm
done
badass.
dangerous
I'm
crimes.
awesome.
I'm sorry for all of this. It's because of my sister. That's not true, Mako.
Koto, don't be daft. It's not your fault.
It's not as though
It's not
I
your
hadn't
fault that
predicted this
your
would
sister's
happen.
a pain in the ass.
Now that it's become reality, I'm unsure of what to do. We need to make sure we don't draw suspicion and work to clear our names. Right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, which makes this all the more difficult, really, because it's kind of like you want to try and
I'm worried about the police too.
clear the
As of
Phantom Thieves'
now,
names
anyone in
so
this
that the
city could
pressure
be a
kind
mole.
of goes away.
They were
But at
so
the same
popular,
time,
too.
if you're all together talking all the
Can I
time,
ask you to search your
then it
father's
also becomes a
belongings for
bit of
clues about
a,
possible culprit?
it also becomes a bit of a problem
know
because
it
then
may
you
be
come under
tough.
suspicion from the police for being together all the
it's
time.
okay.
So it's
Now
kind
isn't
of
the
a
time
double-edged
for you to walk
sword.
away.
And
As for
so,
everyone else,
yeah, we've asked
you need to be
Haru
cautious
to
of
basically
how
go
you spend
through
your
her
time.
father's possessions
So
to see
I've
if there's
decided
anything
to
that
have you
they
three
that she
second years
can
join
that could
me
be
on
of
the
use.
School Festival Executive Committee.
Why?
It will allow us to
So,
gather without drawing suspicion.
So,
trying to blend
Makoto's in
in,
charge
why
of
would we do
the
the
planning
opposite?
for the festival, so she's asked
Fine.
Mian and
I agree.
Ryuji
The more time I have to kill, the more
to
time I
kind of
spend
be
worrying
on
about all this stuff.
be on that
No
c-
matter what happens,
that
I don't want to regret my decisions.
committee, with
Don't
her,
jinx it.
which does a couple of things.
No
One,
surprise if they
it
came
makes
directly
sense
to our
because
homes
we're
for
all
questions.
friends,
They showed
and the
up
other
in your
thing that it
school
does is
after
it
all.
means that we can meet up and
I should
talk
remain
about
cautious.
all this shit, whilst not
For now, the best option is to stay on
increasing
the
suspicion
defensive.
on us from the
We
police.
won't
So
make progress at this
it's a
rate.
bit,
Let's
it's
try
a
and figure out
clever,
who the real culprit is somehow,
clever piece.
okay?
It's a clever
course.
thing that Makoto's done there. So yep, once again, it's just a case of we have to be really fucking careful. But that's going to be it for this part of Persona 5. Join me next time. In the next part, we're going to be starting the school festival, and we're going to be doing our best to try and deal with the shit that's going on with the school and the police. So join me next time for the next part of Persona 5. See you next time.